Hello everyone, today we are going to be making the best milky and crunchy chinchin you will ever taste. So we are going to be mixing the dried ingredients first. So in a bowl you're going to mix your flour, then you add in your sugar. You're going to add 2 tablespoons of baking powder. Put in your baking powder. Then use a whisk to mix thoroughly. Watch how I mix it. After mixing, you're going to set this aside. It's time to mix the wet ingredients. In a bowl, you add in your 3 large eggs. Then you use a whisk to whisk it. If you don't have a whisk, you can use a fork. Anyone is good. Mix. It's not time to for the milk. So if you don't have evaporated milk, you can use powdered milk. But I prefer using powdered milk. So you put in your milk. Me, I'm using pig milk today. So you put in your milk. I'm using 2 pig milk today. You put in your milk and now you're going to pour in some water to the milk and mix. I'm going to be using 250 grams of butter. This is the nutmeg and this is the vanilla essence. So you bring back your dried ingredients. You add in your nutmeg. I'm using 1 nutmeg. You also add in your vanilla essence. I'm going to be using 1 tablespoon of vanilla essence. So you put in your vanilla essence. Then mix thoroughly using a whisk. If you don't have a whisk, you can also use a wooden spatula. At this point, I noticed that my mixing bowl was a little bit small, so I had to change the mixing bowl into a larger one. So we are going to be using 250 grams of butter. Yes, you put in your butter. Now you are going to use your hand to mix this. You mix it thoroughly. Use your hand to melt in the butter into the flour. Now it's time to put in your wet ingredients. So you put in your egg and your milk. You're not going to pour all the milk at once. You're going to pour it bit by bit. So you put little, then you mix till you get your desired texture. Look, you put it bit by bit. Then you mix into a non-sticking dough. Now it's time to prepare the working surface. So you put in some flour and you pour in your dough. Mix till it become non-sticky. You knead till it become non-sticky. Knead it well. Now we can see how non-sticky it looks now. Then you put it back into the bowl. Now you're going to cover this using a foil paper, or you can use anything. You can use a cloth, but me, I'm going to be using a nylon like this to cover it. I'm going to let this rest for about 15 minutes. Now it's time to cut the dough into pieces. Sprinkle some flour on your working surface. And you're going to be needing a rolling pin and a pizza cutter. If you don't have a pizza cutter, you can as well use a knife, but I prefer using a pizza cutter, so try and buy a pizza cutter. Now you cut the dough into smaller pieces, then use your rolling pin to roll out the dough. Watch as I do it. Now it's time to cut the dough into pieces. Start by cutting two vertical lines. My auntie had to help me at this point because I actually have this thing that my hand shakes while I do things like this. After that, you start by cutting it horizontally. At this point, when you are about to pack your pieces of chin chin, I will advise you sprinkle in some flour. This because it helps to avoid sticking when you are frying. Because sometimes if you don't sprinkle this flour, you notice your chin chin sticking while frying. So I will advise you sprinkle some flour before packing. Then you pack the meat to a tray. A flour tray, put in some flour to the tray. Now you're ready to fry your chin chin. Stay tuned. Now it's time for frying. You put your empty pot on the fire. You make sure you fry in medium heat so your chin chin won't burn. So you pour in your vegetable oil. Make sure the vegetable oil is enough. Now when the oil has become hot, you can put in about 3 pieces just to check if it's hot. If it comes up, you know that it's ready to fry. So you can start putting in your chin chin pieces. So you are going to keep stirring and stirring till it turns golden brown. So now you can see how golden brown it's looking now. It's looking so beautiful. Then it's time to remove it from the oil. So you can put it in a sieve or you can use it anything. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel, like and comment. If there's any mistake, if you notice I made any mistake, you can correct me in the comment section. Thank you. Bye.